one hour. Bam, counting. Let's pair program a Reddit place clone with Firebase where every function returns a promise.
All right.
Monday morning. We have David with us today. We are going to do kind of the same thing as last week. We're gonna code an app or something that is suggested by the audience, and we're going to use it with an arbitrary technology also chosen by the audience and an arbitrary restriction also chosen by the audience. And we're gonna do it pair programming.
Live pair programming, sort of.
Sort of.
Perhaps it will be edited.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Hooah!
So what are we gonna do?
Let's just spend 5 minutes figuring out what it is that we're supposed to be doing. Fun forum.
So we have one restriction. We have very, very little time.
Like this is setting us up so much for failure. It's not even funny. All right, we should really have a timer. Hang on. Set en timer på 5 minuter. Alright, time box. We need to decide within 5 minutes what we're gonna do, what tech to use, and what Scylla restriction we should have. So suggests building Skynet. Seems a bit
easy.
of
a... Too easy.
Builder stories help. Characters, locations. That's an interesting one. Tech Vue.js. Like I really dislike Vue for arbitrary reasons.
Have you ever used it?
No.
No. So perhaps that's a good thing to do. Try it out. I have never used it.
No, that's true. Like, because I'm a Vue racist, I should probably use Vue. So, maybe a bit overambitious, but something like Reddit Place.
What is Reddit Place?
Yeah, let's... Reddit Place. The experiment involved an online canvas of 1 million pixel squares located at a subreddit called rplace, which registered users could edit by changing the color of a single pixel from a 16-color palette.
Oh.
That's pretty cool, actually. I like the idea of some kind of weird collaborative, like, just a canvas where all users can just dump shit. And I figure, like, if we use something like Firebase or something, then it will probably be relatively easy to build as well.
What do we have on the timer?
We have 2 minutes left. MPGA's ideal social network. That would probably be just something that is completely focused on just meeting other people, like just event-based.
Tinder.
Yeah. Oh my god. Like, no, we could use a Tinder that it's not about meeting, it's just about being judged. But let's just write the title for this thing, like Reddit Place. Let's pair program a Reddit Place clone with what? Firebase? We need an arbitrary restriction. Last week we had Comic Sans. So here's a bunch of like only use one hand, make it in JavaScript. Only use libraries you never used before, no JavaScript.
Okay, 1 minute to find a restriction from the Twitter.
Yeah, sure. No mutating state, wear a blindfold, editor, make it compatible with Internet Explorer 6. Hey, I like this. Every function should return a promise.
Okay, let's do that.
Where every function returns a promise.
So basically, I guess we should just, like, design-wise, it's just one blank page that with pixels.
Like, here's a page.
So we have pixels, but if we're doing mobile, they are really, really hard to get, so we have to have some sort of way of just, like, zooming in on a pixel. So we should have, like, a coordinate system that exists that doesn't have to correspond to every pixel. So perhaps it's one each pixel in our world is perhaps one fraction in the CSS, so whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, and then when you click a spot, then that will have to pop up some kind of color picker.
Or that you have a color picker somewhere, so for each thing. Oh, were you only allowed to do one pixel?
Yeah, the restriction on the Reddit place was that you kind of once you place the pixel, you timed out, so you couldn't place another pixel for 5 minutes. That's probably out of the scope for. Okay, so I suppose we start the timer.
Yeah.
1 hour. Bam, counting. Let's pair program a Reddit place clone with Firebase where every function returns a promise.
All right.
Alright, so I will set up the Visual Studio Code environment and like a create React app, I suppose, while you get us some Firebase keys.
Googling Firebase keys.
What are we gonna call this? Fun place?
Field, fun field.
I love watching progress bars. Alright, I have a React environment.
Yeah, I'm setting up a Cloud Firestore. I guess that's what we're gonna need. Test mode, allowing all reads and writes to database.
So secure. I'm sure that no audience member will mess with that at all.
No. The database is ready to go. Just add data.
Sweet.
Sounds so simple.
Cool. I sent you the collaboration link for Visual Studio Code.
I'm here. I got it. So when we're doing Visual Studio Code, can I save things? Like,
yeah, sure.
Hello, now I am updating. And then can I save it and it will be saved for you as well?
Yes. Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's funny.
We have 53 minutes remaining. So how do we get the Firebase stuff in?
I don't know. I can check out the docs and see how we do that.
Yeah.
And you can start with something else.
Just realized that my recording stopped at some point.
Oh, your video recording?
Yeah, but if it was stopped, I will replace it with like a MS Paint drawing of myself.
Perhaps we need to get some streamer gear for this.
Yes, I think so. Like eventually I want to stream like with my proper camera. Like I know exactly what gear to get. It's just it's so expensive. Support the show on Patreon, by the way.
Okay, you need to add the Firebase admin SDK to your app. So just type. Hey, give me the console and let me type.
Yeah, don't you have the console? What is it called? Live share.
Terminal.
Share terminal. Read write. Right, now you should have a terminal. Oh my god, that is so cool. That's
this is fun.
Amazing.
I love this.
This is a lot of fun. Like we could really.
So I can keep on doing this while you're doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah, cool. We should like probably invite like audience members to do this eventually. Like we're doing this live.
That's awesome.
Is there a way to share and remote like Chrome? Because that would be very useful if we could like navigate docs together and stuff like that. If you're watching this and you know how to do that, please write it in the comments.
Because we can't do it here because then the entire, I don't know, 50 minutes will go to that.
Okay. What are we doing? This dot state dot pixels.
Are we going to put this on Cloud Functions, on Google Cloud Platform, or as our own server?
I figure like, what's the path of least resistance?
Just do it as our own server because we have never used Cloud Platform or Functions in that way, I think.
Isn't this like just a client app? Like are we doing things server side at all?
No, because everything is in the storage.
Because right now we're not like at a later phase. I suppose that we will be bothering with security.
Yeah.
And then we will probably have to have like then perhaps a cloud function would be a good thing because then we could just make an HTTP request and then that writes to the database if it determines that the client is allowed to. But and then it won't be able to do arbitrary writes to the database as well. But we'll do that later for each pixel. Oh, that worked, sort of.
Okay, I'm enabling anonymous sign-in provider for our cloud project or whatever they're calling it.
That sounds amazing. What does that mean?
That means that I think I'm enabling everyone to be able to write and read and do whatever they want.
Super secure. Position absolute. Now things will work. Oh, I'm surprised that this actually works. Why does that work? I could probably refactor this to be cooler. Destructuring for the win. Sweet, we have 41 minutes remaining and I've drawn a pixel. I'm gonna draw another pixel. Yeah, I need to actually multiply these by 10 or it won't work. How's it going?
I'm reading.
I have the fun part here where I'm just using tools that I know. Figure out a color picker here. npm install React Color. GitHub, this looks pretty nice.
Matthias, you have to authenticate with Firebase. So let's just try this. I will pause your terminal stuff and we'll see what happens when I run. No Firebase.
No, you probably need to install the npm module.
Do you get some kind of authentication window popping up right now?
No. Perhaps.
I think that is a sort of like a shorthand of like generating keys and stuff.
Let me run it in a real terminal. Nothing happens.
No, you have to Firebase log in first. Wait.
Alright, want to access your Google account. Login successful. Brilliant. Or that's waha, that's funky.
Like the default Firebase project for this directory.
Shouldn't we have a project for it?
I misunderstood.
Project active, run with project or define an alias. While you're doing that, I'm going to define this field clicked function. I suppose that it gets some kind of event. Let's just console log. All right, let's see what we have here. I can't click the div. I suppose I was expecting that would have worked. Oh, I was just clicking incorrectly. So I was trying to click down here, but if you watch the div, it's actually just that size.
What are you calling your coordinate field? Like something pixels, or are you calling it?
I'm calling it pixel.
Creating sort of a collection with something in it. So do you have an X and a Y and a color? Is that it?
Yeah, exactly. If you look in app.js on line 12.
Oh yeah, great.
Oh, it's very nice that I can see where you have.
Oh, that's
focus.
awesome.
So Microsoft are not sponsoring us, but they should.
They should contact us. You know the business email. You find it on the about page of the YouTube channel.
When the color picker has changed, then find this, because JavaScript is dumb. Console log. And it gives me a hex. Excellent. Blah, 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 blah. So when we have a coordinate clicked, I'm going to set the state to whatever is like the current pixel. And so current pixel is going to be X and Y. I mean, I could be just doing this and just like transferring that. But to be honest, I'm not a fan of that kind of programming because it becomes hard to figure out what the hell coordinate clicked is actually accepting and what it's doing. This is a lot easier to follow what is going along, and it makes like coordinate clicked as a simpler, clearer function rather than something that passes something arbitrary along that should maybe be formatted in a certain way. If this .state .current pixel there. So if I click now, that should be showing the color picker. Yes, it does. Concat. I think we can do this. That did not work. Why not? Why not? Why is the console not expanded? The console is so small. What is it? What? The console is super tiny. Oh, it's only the console. It's actually really big. Nothing but the console. Can actually inspect the state here because we have the React Chrome plugin, which is really nice. But it's actually adding the pixels here. So it has an X and a Y. Coordinate click. We need to actually divide these by 10 or it won't be correct, I think. Oh, hang on. I can't do this. I need to use set state. I am dumb. This dot set state. I don't know React. only worked with it for years. Pixels. Is this even firing? Oh, the current pixel is up. Oh, it's because it's still triggering. It's triggering, and whenever I'm clicking the color picker, it's probably triggering a new click on the div, which we should prevent. So perhaps. Oh, hello there, beautiful. I think I have this working now, actually. If you check out the screen share.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome.
It's not perfect. Math.floor. Yeah, now it's actually like pixely. Also, the position of the the picker is a bit messed up. Going to be color picker container position. Or you know, perhaps I can actually use the current pixel x and times 10. Do that. What is happening? Must be wrapped in an enclosing tag. What is wrong with me? HTML is hard. 14 minutes remaining.
Okay, yeah, soon I have something here. Okay, I haven't really read the documentation that well.
Who does?
But check out firebase.js. So I think it's trying to initialize, and then I'm trying to sign in anonymously and then try to get the pixels in the pixels collection. I don't know where to run that.
How do you do this? Export the
module.exports? Or I don't know, it's different in wherever.
No, it's like the exp is export default stuff, import stuff from. Like, this is so annoying. Like, element div has no corresponding closing tag. Oh, it's because I'm getting that one. Come on, are you compiling? Please compile.
Is it running?
Something is happening. Waiting on localhost. Yeah, module not found. Firebase functions in fun field src.
It would have been good to sort of, I don't know, learn Firebase before we started on this whole thing.
Yeah, like that was exactly the conclusion of last week's video, which like...
Yes! Let's make videos where we draw the same conclusion in every video, so people know what to expect.
Exactly. So it's like, yeah, this would have been good to learn beforehand, and then we don't learn beforehand the next video. Okay. Module not... What the hell is this?
Oh, okay. Firebase admin. Is that it? But I like this whole code sharing and terminal sharing thing.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Logo is defined but never used. Okay. Then it's the versioning. What is that? Comment that out and I will keep on working.
You can actually comment it out.
Oh, yeah, of course.
That way you can break my code live. Cool. Then I can do that and that. But I expected it to... I cannot hear what you're saying. Writing in the chat. I cannot hear what you are saying. You are a robot.
Well, it's a really bad Wi-Fi here, and then I used my 4G, and then that wasn't working, so I tried the Wi-Fi again, and then... So where are we on time?
3 minutes. So I suppose that Firebase setup...
We didn't solve that part.
No.
That's on me.
I suppose that Firebase setup is... They have some work to do. All right, so perhaps we should switch to that. I don't think that... I think that the mistake here is that we should ask each other for help when we're stuck.
Yes.
Because I have been like having super flow here and like this. So let's try to like give ourselves like 10 more minutes and try to solve that.
So once we've authored, I just want to make a query and then get something. Get doesn't give you the live feed, it just gets one document at one instance. I just wanted to try something. And I don't know if I'm doing this like the Firebase initialize app with the Firebase configuration, if I really have to do the auth. I'm not really sure.
I think that it works in mysterious ways, this shit. Is there a Firebase auth package?
It should be. Yes. Install that.
It's really annoying that all their examples are isolated. Give us a full example, you bastards.
So I can send you one example that they do have.
friendly-eats.js. But these are globals? Where do they pull this shit in?
Firebase, so it's an example to serve it on Firebase some way. So perhaps that's why they don't have the requirements, perhaps because they sort of assume that it's available globally somehow. Could that be the case?
I think that Firebase is sort of weird when you're using it with npm. Yeah, we don't do this initialize app thing. Oh, okay, now I get it. Yeah. Okay, now I get it. Like, this is just bullshit.
Yeah, because we don't have access to that, right?
No, we need the actual keys, of course.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. So this is just you need to paste the actual keys in here. I would have actually seen that if I had just read the code from top to bottom, but I just started staring at this thing. So I suppose that this auth here is only available once you actually do the initialize app. We actually had a restriction that every function should return a promise. That's a bit of... I suppose I could make every function here return a promise, but it actually wouldn't make any difference. Because everything is just happening as a consequence of state being changed. If I make this sync, like while you're doing that, I'm going to just conform to our arbitrary requirement. Oh, can't resolve service account key JSON.
Why?
Perhaps it can't pull in JSON files.
Should we just save it straight up in the code just to get...
Because it might be possible that the .json thing is a node-specific functionality. Okay, that seemed to work. Oh, Firebase auth sign in anonymously is not a function. Oh god, why? Behavior of data object stored in Firestore is going to change and your app may break. Bleh. Unquote in promise. Cannot confirm, convert undefined or null to object. Getting this thing, Firebase config environment variable is missing. Initializing Firebase admin will fail, but we're not initializing Firebase admin, so... I think that we're way over time. We failed doing a simple query to Firebase, and we cannot figure out what is wrong.
But that's just 1 hour, and there are at least 8 hours in a working day. So for 1 hour, sort of, that's okay.
I would my theory, like just from my previous experience with Firebase, is that Firebase is kind of based on you pulling in script tags. And if you don't do it like that, and you want to use npm like we use here, things are just like the docs are not adapted to that. So we're not really using their golden path because their golden path is dumb. But I don't know. I don't know. Like, what does this even mean? Like, node bonus grpc the request of a dependency is an expression. Like, what are these things?
Who knows?
No, I don't know. We would probably figure it out, but not in an hour. But it got pretty far. Like, I kind of have this pixel picker working, and I think that we could probably get it working. And
what did we learn? So first, I can say that I learned that Firebase is like any other service, that you just have to figure out how they're doing authentication and everything. And I'm sure it's super sweet once you got that service account thing and everything running. But in 1 hour, I didn't get it running. So perhaps it's a 2-hour task or 8-hour task. But I think by looking at the documentation, it seems pretty sweet once we get past this part. So what did you learn on the front end?
I learned that Visual Studio live code changing is pretty great. It's pretty cool. Like that was very simple to get working.
Yes.
Like, we literally just tried this for like 10 seconds before the stream, and everything just worked extremely smoothly, and it was very easy to...
Yeah, I just had to install the extension, and then I got the link, and I clicked the link, and it said, do you want to open code with this link? And then I said, okay, and it started working.
Also getting like this React color, like it's so nice to have a strong ecosystem. I could just like, oh, I want a React color picker, and then I just Google a React color picker, and there was one. That was super easy to get working. It was also good that we discussed, like, had this, like, that we did this extremely dumb, simple spec beforehand. That made things a lot easier because it gave us like gave me a direction to work with. It was also good that we figured this thing out where we like didn't do like a pixel coordinate system, because that would have made this a lot more annoying. The arbitrary restriction that we had was actually not all that interesting in the context of a React app where everything is functionally reactive, because you're not really waiting for any function call to complete, you're just calling functions. So the fact that they return a promise is completely irrelevant because you're never using the return values of anything. You're just setting state, and then things happen as a consequence of that.
So, and then the lesson is that we should learn the basic tools before we start using them, because otherwise it's always this whole learning thing. But I guess like in reality, that's the way you do it. You have to learn it the way while you're trying to figure things out. You're learning it while you're figuring it out.
It's a common programming mistake to sort of try to figure things out on your own. It seemed like a good idea to parallel process.
Yes,
but it wasn't.
But it wasn't pair programming.
No,
really.
like I think that if we had focused on two heads on one issue at a time, we would have been much further along than we did. Like I think that this actually, ironically, we kind of demonstrated the problem of not doing pair programming, because when you are not doing pair programming, your team is always as like, if there is a breakage on one chain, like the entire team slows to that speed. So that's why mob programming and pair programming works so well, because you're constantly swarming on the most difficult problem at the time, which means that you are actually maximizing your velocity, ironically, even though like you're not maximizing your efficiency. Also, like it would be even better if we could find some way of remote controlling the browser. I'm sure that is possible.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so we're done.
Yeah, I think so. You have just watched an episode of Fun Function. We release these every Monday morning, 0800 GMT. But you will forget that, so you can subscribe by clicking here, or watch another episode right now by clicking here. I am MPJ, and
I'm David.
Until next Monday morning, stay curious.